Sometimes when you ride a roller coaster for the first time, you hit the final brake run and you realize that it was so much better than you ever could have expected. Between how it looked in POVs and what other people say about it, you might find certain coasters to be pretty underrated. And out of the 165 roller coasters I've ridden as of July 2026, these are the 5 roller coasters that really stood out to me for being underrated. The first coaster I want to talk about is Behemoth at Canada's Wonderland. This coaster really surprised me. Unlike other B&M hypers that gracefully lift you out of your seat, Behemoth forcefully lifts you out of your seat. The airtime strength is right between floater and ejector, which I did not expect at all. I think the main reasons people rank this coaster too low are that it's not exactly very accessible for many people who might live further south, but the main reason is that people are always comparing it to Diamondback at Kings Island. People love to say that Diamondback is way better in every way, and while I do like Diamondback a lot, and I think it might be a little bit better actually, but it really isn't by much at all. Diamondback definitely has the better second half, but I kind of feel like Behemoth has a superior first half, and it's much smoother too. And this is not to hate on Diamondback at all, I just wish people would rank Behemoth for what it is and not how it compares to other coasters. Another coaster I find to be underrated is Dark Coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This coaster has gotten so much hate ever since it opened, and I really don't understand it at all. This coaster replaced the old Dark Castle ride, but I think this is a big improvement. It has 2 very punchy launches that kinda remind me of the first launch on Moto Coaster at Six Flags Darien Lake. It has a surprisingly good sense of speed for only going about 36 miles per hour. I think the main complaint with this coaster is that it doesn't have enough theming, but I don't think that's true at all because it does have some, and I also kind of prefer the mostly dark atmosphere anyway. This is one of my favorite coasters in the park, and I definitely prefer it over something like Alpengeist. The next coaster is Windchaser at Kentucky Kingdom. From what I've heard, this coaster can run pretty inconsistently from year to year, but even in good years, I feel like people rank this coaster too low. It has some of the strongest airtime that I've ever experienced, and it doesn't have dead spots like some other RMCs do. Even the elements that might look like dead spots, like the overbanked inversion element, which is very good still. I don't even know what they were thinking when they made this trick track double up. I know there's a similar element on Twisted Timbers. That one might be a little bit better for laterals, but this one is a whole lot better for airtime because this first step up has some of the strongest airtime I've ever experienced, especially towards the front of the train, and it's definitely the strongest moment on the ride for sure. And the fact that there's another double down right after this is just insane. I also love the first camelback and many other great airtime moments on this coaster. Another cool thing about this coaster is that sometimes when you're riding it, a plane will fly right over you because this park is right next to the Louisville airport. I really don't understand why some people hate on this coaster and call it one of the weakest RMCs. Another very underrated roller coaster is Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This coaster has a similar problem to Dark Coaster. People just love to complain about the fact that there isn't enough theming. And sure, there probably could be a little bit more because a theme like this just has a lot of potential, but I never see people complaining about coasters like Apollo's Chariot in the same park, which has even less theming. People seem to only judge this coaster by its lack of theming and not the actual ride experience, which is really good. My favorite section is definitely the swing launch section because of the backwards ejector airtime hill and the huge spike. But I also really like the 0G winder, drop off of the top hat, and the 0G stall. Another thing people love to complain about is that the outer bank isn't fast enough, and yeah, it could definitely be faster on an Intamin coaster like this, but I would still take this over the one on Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. For our final coaster of the video, we will be going back to Canada's Wonderland for Leviathan. This is the first B&M Giga coaster, and it kinda gets forgotten a lot. I feel like it suffers from the same 2 things as Behemoth, where it's not that accessible with its location, and it's always being compared to Fury 325 at Carowinds. Leviathan usually is said to be on par with Orion at Kings Island, and as much as I do love Orion, I think that Leviathan is definitely better. And I honestly think that it's probably better than Fury too. They both focus on high-speed elements, but unlike Fury 325, which has more turns, Leviathan is more airtime focused. It has a speed hill that ends in a snappy turn, but the thing that's different about this one is that unlike most other B&M coasters where the speed hill is located towards the middle of the ride, this one is the second element, so you take it with a lot more speed than usual. And this camelback has to be one of the tallest in the entire world. It also has some of the most sustained airtime I've ever experienced, where it has to be well over 5 seconds. Maybe soon people will start to realize just how good Leviathan is, but if it hasn't happened in the 14 years it's been open, then it probably won't happen for a while. So those are 5 roller coasters that I find to be underrated. What do you think of those coasters? And what roller coasters do you think are underrated? And if you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.
Crack it.